tapped on the glass, but there was no response. It saddened me that it looked like I was going to be ignored by this magnificent creature. I felt an emotion starting to swell up inside of me. It felt as if I was trapped. It was ludicrous to think such a thing because I was not trapped. I remember trying to understand this feeling. Almost claustrophobia. It's bearing down on me. I stared deep into the tank and put my face close to the glass to get a better view of Norman. He stirred a little, and an eye opened, looking directly at me. I sensed some sort of, how should I say, an understanding between us. Norman slowly moved himself across the tank and settled by the front of the glass, directly in front of me. His eye opened, and he regarded me with what it seemed like a curiousness. The hairs were standing up on the back of my neck as I felt a growing closeness with him. I felt compelled to place my hands against the glass directly by his head. The eye blinked knowingly. At least that's what I thought. Without any will, I closed my eyes, and I could feel a wave of warmth and intense colours enter my mind. Beautiful colours that I'd never seen before. Now, for the first time in many years, I felt a warm feeling of peace sweeping over me. It was divine, something I had been craving for such a long time. I could not open my eyes as the voice entered my mind.
Don't be afraid, Marvin. There is nothing whatsoever to fear. We are in contact. This is good. I have seen many of your kind, but none that have the need to wonder about existence and reality that you have. I sense you are a timid creature, but for an ape-like creature, you have an admirable curiosity, which I like, and this could be harnessed to both our needs.
Of course, I did not immediately understand what he was saying, but I can tell you that I did not feel afraid. I know that sounds strange, but at the time it was so.
I already know that you, Marvin, have led a troubled life. I would be prepared to offer you something very special if you so desire.
I did not speak, but just thought my reply, knowing that he would understand. Don't ask me how. I sensed that the wonderful creature would do me no harm whatsoever, and was prepared to help me.
I will almost certainly have to spend the rest of my life in captivity, and that troubles me greatly. Put yourself in my position, an object of fun and disgust, so different from you earth creatures. Since we came to your planet many eons ago, we have lived in peace under your oceans, always wondering what life would be like on the land surface. But alas, we could never achieve this. The opportunity never arose.
I asked him, where did his race come from originally? He told me he was from a water world situated in the Crab Nebula, many, many light years from Earth.
What I propose, Marvin, is we exchange our consciousnesses and for a while experience our different worlds. Only for a while, you understand. It shall be completely painless, and you will experience my world for a while.
I can tell you now that at the time I was worried that something would go wrong, although I was most keen to experience something I'd long dreamed of. The phrase, "stand in another man's shoes," sprang to mind.
Now, Marvin, Do you agree?
I thought that I did.
Just completely relax.
I did as instructed, curious beyond curious.
Merging. We are merging. Now the transfer shall begin.
I felt a tingling sensation in my arms and legs, and my body shook. My arms and legs shooting in all directions.
There, that's excellent. Everything is complete. Shall we say a month of your days, as each in our different worlds? Or would you like a little longer?
Then came the biggest shock of all. I opened my eyes and saw myself on the other side of the glass. I'd never seen myself as others see me, always just a reflection. For some reason I agreed to a month, much to Norman's delight, and then we would both morph back again. It took a few days to learn how to move the tentacles, but I gradually got the hang of it. The novelty started to wear off after a while, as there seemed to be a long delay in transferring me into the interconnecting tanks. Rather boring. Time passed. The month was almost up when I saw me come into the room, or should I say Norman. He was smiling at me with that silly grin that my wife used to hate. The room was empty, and he walked up to the glass, and I squirted myself to the front panel. We stared at each other, and he placed his hands on the glass. We were back in contact, not a moment too soon, as this lonely existence was driving me crazy.
We are merging, now transferring. This is correct.
It was such a shock to be back in my ape-like body with only 4 limbs to operate. It seemed so easy to make movements. But now that Norman was back in his body proper, he quickly adapted to his advanced form. It's certainly been an amazing experience being in the tank and all. But he was pleased to be back in his original form. Norman had reluctantly kept his word, just like I knew he would. A creature from the stars, of high order indeed. Such integrity. I turned to leave the super aquarium, and Norman spoke.
Marvin, my dear fellow, I thought I should let you know that I have successfully called in all of the outstanding debts owing to your electricity company. Oh, and by the way, you have been promoted to office manager. If we had say, longer, say 4 months, 4 days and 7 hours, you would have been promoted to financial director. You will find that everyone respects you, almost fears you, when you go in tomorrow morning. The world is your limpet. I mean oyster.
I knew that he would want me to visit him, so I did as often as time permitted. My life became hectic, and whatever I did became successful. Great, you might say, but having the knowledge that an advanced civilization was here on Earth, long before the first apes moved out of Africa, became too hard to bear. You know what I have to do. I shall have to reveal all to SETI, the Centre for the Search for Extraterrestrial Life. There is no doubt that knowing all this will change mankind forever. I just hope that the response is not hostile.
The